When our visitors get here to the Patterson Merritt farmhouse, a lot of times they experience strong personal memories. It just feels as if it belongs to their own families, and it's a fact that this building really is sort of a classical early American building. We particularly notice that we have these dovetail notches here. This building could barely be knocked down by modern equipment. It's so strong according to the way that these notches are put together. We also notice here that there are hand plane marks all over these huge logs here. It just tells a lot about how much time it took to build this building. So this is a very well built building. Colonel John Ward West was the person that thought of the idea of Westville, although he never got to see it happen. And it has been talked about in other segments of this show. One thing that is sort of key to his whole idea of collecting things from the early days of Georgia, what he called Georgiana, things that came from his grandmother's time, things that came from pre-industrial Georgia, is this loom. This loom, we believe, is the loom that began it all for Westville. Back in the early 1880s, John Ward West was a child, and he went in his grandmother's log house, and up in the attic he found this loom. And he asked his grandmother what it was, and she told him that it was a loom for making clothes and other kinds of cotton material. And he asked her, well, what do you plan to do with it? And she said, well, I think since we don't make clothes anymore, we'll just use it for firewood. And that set him off. That was a spark that set off in his mind, and from that moment on, he began collecting things from those early days of Georgia. He asked his grandmother for this. This was his very first piece of early furniture. We have been talking about cotton spinning wheels in other segments of the shows. This is yet another one at Westville. Most houses would have had walking wheels, and it just emphasizes the fact that cotton was so important in people's lives in the South in the early 1800s. We're in the Patterson Merritt farmhouse, which is one of the very early buildings at Westville. In this particular room in the house, we see a classic early American arrangement with the chairs around the fireplace. The fireplace also has a mantel that is a beautiful mantel. It's one of the prettiest that we have at Westville, and along with the detail on it, and it even has the original blue paint on it, which is quite unusual. I'd also like to talk now about the shift robe over here in the corner. In early houses in America, they often did not have closets at all, but rather they used furniture for the hanging of clothing, and that's what this piece of furniture is. It's a shift robe.